I think the number one thing that unites every single person on planet Earth is stress. And I, for one, am trying my darndest to reduce the amount of stress in my own life and learn how to regulate my nervous system. This is something that I truly believe will be taught in the future, but unfortunately, up until this point, there is not a lot of teaching about it. It should be taught to every child, woman, man on planet Earth because stress is so prevalent. And I want to be clear that I don't think we are living in the most stressful time, but I do think we are the most stressed. So, one of the reasons why I believe this is because the world events that we're going through are crazy. But if you look at history, it's always been crazy. And I think that we're having a really hard time dealing with this because of epigenetics. So, everything that your ancestors went through made an imprint onto their genetic code. And one of the reasons that this is scientifically backed, but I'm not a scientist, so if you want to look more into this, I highly recommend looking up some studies or some YouTube videos that explain this further. But human beings are made up of a lot of water, and water holds memory. So, as our ancestors have gone through some crazy times in history, they were not given the tools to deal with what they went through. So, what happened was suppression. What happened was distraction. What happened was them not appropriately dealing with their stress. So, it got packed into their DNA and passed on to their children. And when that child grows up with that stress, plus their own stress from their accumulated life experiences, and they don't deal with it, it just goes on and on and on. That memory is held within the water, the cells of their body. And at some point, somebody is going to want to break those generational cycles and free themselves. This is not an easy thing. And I think the reason why so many people are feeling so much stress right now is because of that, is because of the accumulated stress from generation after generation after generation of not having the proper tools to regulate their nervous system, to deal with daily stress. And now our stress doesn't just come from acute stress, which is actually healthy. We need a certain amount of stress in our lives for a reason. But now we have gone from the acute stress where our nervous system will kick in when we're dealing with a stressor. It'll do exactly what it's designed to do with the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and keep us safe. And then it turns off and we go back to living our normal lives. Now, our stress is low grade chronic stress, where it's just constantly running in the background. It's a program that literally never turns off. And we don't have the tools to learn how to turn it off. And one of the ways that I see this being a problem is when you're constantly running that in the background and it never turns off. Now, when something else that's stressful stacks on top of that, that's exactly what happens, is it stacks on top. And you have all of this weight of all of these stressful experiences, all of these stressors that just build and compound over time on you. And any normal human being cannot deal with that. We are not made or designed to consistently and constantly deal with stress. That is a tax on our nervous system. Our nervous systems were designed to respond, react, keep us safe, and turn off. And now it's just 24/7, a program like a computer running and running and running. That uses so much of our energy, so much of our battery, and that's extremely unhealthy. So no wonder we're seeing crazy amounts of chronic illness, crazy amounts of autoimmune disease, because when your body is consistently fighting for survival, it's fighting its existence. So no wonder you're going to experience some sort of illness, your body fighting against you, because you're chronically and constantly stressed. And in my own life, I notice that my stress is so high, and I can't notice this unless I'm present. Because what we do when we're chronically stressed is we don't want to even feel that way. So we numb out, we distract, we do anything to not feel what we are constantly feeling in our life. That only pushes it away for us to deal with at another point in time. And that is exactly what our ancestors have done, generation after generation after generation. And I, for one, if I ever have children, do not want to pass this on. And I don't want to live with it either. I don't want to have it affect my daily life, my happiness, my money, my relationships. I want to be able to move past this and figure out a way to make myself feel alive. When you're running on survival, you're not living. And that's a shitty life. Let's be real. Nobody wants to live that way. But again, nobody's taught. So going back to ways that I feel this in my own life is I have that underlying consistent stress in my body. And unless I'm present with it, I don't notice it. So becoming more present, and then from there, you can make certain choices that lower your stress, that put you back in the driver's seat. Instead of being in survival, you take your consciousness back, you become more conscious in this now moment, and you stop running on autopilot. You stop being unconscious. You stop doing things from the subconscious mind and start using your conscious mind. And that is how you start to regulate your nervous system. And one of the best ways that I do this is like the naming game is what I call it. I really don't know. I think it probably has some sort of scientific or therapeutic name, but it's when you name things that you can see around you with your senses. So see, feel, taste, touch, smell, and that pulls you into the present moment because you're scanning from left to right, and that's going to stimulate your vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is, I think, the largest nerve in our body, and that's what helps us in fight or flight and turning it off. So you want to be able to stimulate that nerve, and scanning helps because what you're doing is you're looking for danger and you're noticing in your present reality that everything's actually okay. So I'll name things like right now, I see the bamboo tree outside my house. I see the leaves blowing in the wind. I see bright yellow and green. I can hear the leaves blowing. I can hear the birds chirping. I can see a gray sky. I can currently smell coffee because it's sitting on my desk. I can hear a laundry machine humming, and that's pulling me into right now. I can hear my own voice. I can see myself on camera. And when you do that, you stop living in fight or flight because your body is slowing down enough for you to see things. And that signals that your fight or flight, your nervous system response can turn off. Because if you're slowing down enough to be able to recognize your environment and see things and take some deep breaths, you're not in danger anymore. So that's the number one thing that I do. When I am feeling jumpy, so that's another thing that I notice is my nervous system is so sensitive because I've spent a lifetime in fight or flight, and so have my ancestors. And when I hear a little noise outside, it could be a car backfiring, it could be a loud motorcycle passing, it could be, there's these like noises here in Costa Rica that I literally have no idea what they are, but it sounds like a gunshot. Don't know what it is, but it terrifies me every single time. Like I'm talking like I jump out of my skin, my chest hurts because my heart pounded so hard, my tummy drops into my butthole. I'm scared, like I'm terrified. It's like life or death feeling inside of my body, and that's not normal. So when those moments happen, I just hand to heart, you're okay, you're safe. And just being conscious enough to do that is going to help regulate that nervous system. And, you know, I know that there are so many things going on in our world right now that do trigger that nervous system response and that keep us in fight or flight. So it is our duty as a conscious human who is trying to lead with soul, with heart, and escape. Maybe escape's not the word. Remove ourselves from the systems that are in place to keep us in fight or flight, because really the whole world benefits of us being in fight or flight. But it is our duty to make sure that we are not participating in that, that we are removing ourselves from that, because we want to change this planet. We want to change the way that we participate in it. By withdrawing our participation in the fight or flight, we're healing not only ourselves, but our lineage, our future lineage, and everybody around us, because a regulated nervous system is a magnet for love, prosperity, for opportunity. And this isn't saying do it so that you get rich quick or whatever, because this isn't a quick process. If you are healing from a lineage that did not heal, it's going to take some time. And so be patient and be gentle with yourself as you're navigating through this process, because it's truly not easy. I haven't made a video in a while because I have been more conscious. I have been more aware of my body. And I spent a lifetime outside of my body, because that's what survival mode does to you. It takes you and it pulls you outside of your body, because being in this human experience is not safe, is not comfortable. And when you spend a lifetime like that, it's being unconscious. It's like living in a fog. And now that I have done a lot of healing, now that I have found a place where I feel safe enough to be in my body, y'all, it's hard, because you start to feel the way that you've always felt, and it's bad. It's bad to feel that accumulated stress. It's bad to feel that grief from a life that you spent surviving. I don't like to feel this way, but I know that if I don't feel this, it's going to run me. And I want to be in the driver's seat, because I don't want to live like this. So I've been feeling a lot in the last few months now that I have taken a break from YouTube, because that was another way that I was distracting myself, being busy, because this production is hard. It's not something that I thought was really easy. And I'm starting to trust myself more, that I'm just going to go on camera and speak, that I'm going to say what my soul wants me to say and not what I think YouTube algorithm is going to want from me. If I'm transmitting from the heart and from the soul, that in itself is regulating my nervous system, because it's saying that what I feel, what I'm experiencing, what I know, the wisdom that I have is enough. I don't have to perform, and I don't want to. So taking that break, feeling all of the things that I've been feeling was and has been and will continue to be extremely eye-opening, because I'm noticing that, you know what, I don't feel good in my body, and I don't want to keep escaping. I don't want to keep pulling out of my body and viewing my life from a bird's eye view. That's not dealing with anything. And I'm going to make a separate video, but for a long time, spirituality became an escape for me as well. it became a way for me to think that I found the answer, that this was going to help me. And in some aspects, obviously it did, but it was not the only answer and the only solution, because the spirituality that I was learning was being outside of the body and being in spirit. And so you're trying to meditate and you're trying to manifest and you're scripting and you're journaling and you're connecting to God, but you're not connecting to the human. And that put me in a cycle, in a circle, in a loop that I couldn't get out of. And so anytime I would feel bad in this human experience, I would wonder why my spirituality wasn't working. So I would double down. I would try to manifest more specifically. I would meditate even more. And when that wasn't working, I thought something was just wrong with me, that I wasn't healed enough, that I wasn't doing enough, that I was off course, that I wasn't aligned. And that truly has nothing to do with it. It was my nervous system. You can do all of the spiritual work, all the healing work that you want, but if you're not including your nervous system and your body, you're missing a giant piece of the puzzle. And that's what I ran into. So if this is something that you're experiencing in your life, I just want you to know you're definitely not alone. We're going to find a way together to feel good in our bodies. Because while spirituality is important and it is something I'm so grateful for, we exist as spirit more than we will ever be human. So we are here to have a human experience. We're here to fail, to mess up, to try, to, go through the highs and the lows of emotions, no matter how uncomfortable. We're here to learn. And that's a beautiful thing. And it's safe enough to be here. But only until we truly believe that will we experience something that is safe. Will we see safety in our external reality? But it starts within. And it starts by coming back down into the body. So thank you for being here in this video. I hope something in here was helpful to you. If it was, please leave a comment down below. Any engagement in my channel really helps me out. And I just really want to connect with you guys. I know that the world is so disconnected. We live online majority of our lives. And it's something that's beautiful, that has helped us connect in the past. But now we've become so disconnected with it. And I want to know people. I want to know your experiences. I want you to know me and my experiences. We're not getting through this human life without connection. That is such an important part of being human. We learn through storytelling. We learn through wisdom and sharing. We learn through connection and love and relationship. So thank you for being here again. I wish you all the best today and every other day. See you soon.